Hey guys, welcome back to Creatures, Caverns, and Crafting. Really cool video for you guys. Today in front of me I had the military Black House playset I purchased off of eBay. The entire playset was $5 with free shipping. It does come from China, so if you're in the States like me, it may take a while to get to your address. Lots of really cool pieces with lots of potential. I can see using this for my Mutant Crawl Classic games. Here is a bunker that we could easily paint up to look like a castle. This would be great for our Dungeon Crawl Classic games. A lot of functionality. Sometimes when you make a piece of terrain or you paint up a piece of terrain for one specific campaign, it just winds up on your shelf and you don't get to use it. A lot of functionality with this stuff. I've used this fence before. This was nothing but 15 minutes of work on all three. Paint, cardstock, a little flocking, printed out the sign. And I've already used this for a Walking Dead game. So stay tuned. Let's see what we can do with the other. So let's start with this guard tower. As you can see, it does look a little rough. We have a lot of flashing, some mold lines here. This is two separate pieces. I thought what we could do is maybe remove the roof so that we can fit a model inside. I'm just going to cut here up at the top. This plastic is a little tough. I just broke a piece of support there. If that happens to you, don't let it sideline you. I'm going to show you what we're going to do to remedy that here in a second. Guys, also practice safety when doing this. You want to cut away from yourself and make sure you're cutting on a proper surface. Don't want to use your nice countertops. Give it one little bit more of a cut. Then I think we can twist it off here. There we go. Alright. As you see, it opens up very nicely. We'll save the roof pieces. And here is a 28mm model. Fits in very nicely. And let's move on. I'm going to take this file for my next step. All I'm doing is roughing up the smooth surface of the model. If you don't have a file, you could easily use maybe some fine sandpaper. I'm not going really crazy with this. This is going to help me hide any of the flashing or mold lines that we had earlier. And it's also going to help the primer when we go to prime this adhere to the plastic. If you have a smooth surface, it will easily scratch and come off. Go ahead and put the roof together. These do have fitting joints, but just to make sure they don't come apart, we're going to put a little drop of glue on each joint. Don't have to go crazy with this. And we'll just fit them together like so. There we go. Now we're going to take some glue and put on top like so. And I'm going to take some corrugated paper, cut to size, and just glue that down like so. I'm going to take some craft matchsticks and glue them to the four posts of the guard tower. I have a model inside of it right now, and I'm just using that as a height reference. I'll be taking this Sharpie marker and just gauging it the best way I can. Flip it over here to the back. Also note that I've removed the back portion of the railing. This will be an entrance point to the guard shack. And there we go. I'm just going to take some wire cutters and clip these. This is going to work better than trying to saw through it. Watch your face. These do tend to pop off when you're clipping them. And if we want to, we can actually take a file and file those down a little bit just to smooth it. Here's my file. We can kind of look and see how even we are on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Next up, I've taken my roof. I want to show that I've used some matchsticks there to create a boundary for it. And now we have a guard tower with a removable roof that stays in place. Next, I'm going to use these craft wood pieces for armor plating. As you see, I've poured a couple of them out. Our guard tower looks a little plain without something on it. I'm just going to start applying these like so. We don't have to glue them now. We're just trying to get like maybe a reference point. We can put these in different angles. Another thing we can use is corrugated paper. This will mimic a sheet metal look. I also have to mention, I'm not showing it in this video, but I use granny gradient as well. This is going to add a lot of good characteristics to the guard tower once we paint it up. Here I've added everything, and I just want to point out I drilled 2 holes here. This is where I'm going to put some coffee stir sticks. All I've done is glue those in. Also note that I use some coffee stir sticks just to break up the pattern there on the stand, and I'm using some ruby gemstones for rivets and nails. We're going to switch gears and take a look at this guard sign. As you can tell, it has an open back end. It was probably left over from the molding. To cover that, we're just going to use this popsicle stick. I just roughly traced the outline of it. I'm going to use these clips just to tear through it. There we go. And we want to try to keep this at an angle so it fits in there nicely. There we go. And we may just file this down a little bit, but it should fit in like so. We'll use some E6000 on this. We'll now move on to the painting portion of the video. I first primed all 3. I used a uniform gray for the castle, a Krylon camouflage brown for the guard tower and the sign. Of course, I allowed that all to dry. Then to break up the bricks on the castle, I used a golden dawn. I also added some suede. And just to give a little darkness, I used some Mississippi mud. I then went back over this with a quick shade soft tone by Army Painter. Allowed that to dry for about 12 hours. And then applied 2 coats of Tester Dull Coat. For the guard tower, I used the following colors. For the rust effects, I used a burnt sienna. For darker rust, burnt umber. For the sheet metal, an OPEC red. And then a slight dry brush with Citadel Iron Breaker. For the sign, I simply used Mississippi mud, golden dawn, and a nutmeg brown on the base. To sell each piece, I added flocking such as a lichen here on the castle. For the sign, I printed out posters. I also took a little piece of paper and wrote out the missing and did the other miscellaneous. For the tower, I added the concertina wire I used in one of my previous projects and just a tad of burnt sienna for the rust. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. We're getting a lot more subscribers, a lot more followers with every video I release. If you like the video, give a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, follow. If you know somebody that might be interested in these type of videos, pass that along as well. You guys all stay safe, and we'll see you next week.